Good evening. You join me in my garage this evening to talk about polishes because I think there is a little bit of misinformation about what a polish actually is. So tonight we're going to be asking and answering the question, what is a polish? What is it made of? What does it do? How does it work? How do you use it? Why am I here? Who are you? Where are you from? What's going on? I've kind of lost the plot right now. What's a polish? Alright, so a polish, at its bare minimum, its base level, a polish is a liquid product, comes in a bottle, and it has abrasives in it. Now those abrasives vary in their aggression. Picture a piece of sandpaper, okay? Essentially, polish is almost like liquid sandpaper. But as you may know, sandpaper comes in different levels of grit and therefore different levels of aggression. So the low grit sandpapers have very large abrasive bits on them to do lots of cutting at the wood or whatever it is that you're working on to really get in there. You'll have very fine sandpaper, super fine sandpaper, which is designed to smooth out that surface and make it perfectly smooth and flat. And you'll have everything in between. And polishes are exactly the same idea. They come under different names. You can hear compounds, polishing compounds, polishes, finishing polishes, jeweling polishes, many different names. But what they do essentially is they are the product, they are the media which is designed to be rubbed onto the surface of your paint in order to make it smooth and flat and therefore glossy and improve the look of your paint. You see, your paint will have swirls on it. That is normal. It will maybe have scratches too. What that is damage from improper washing processes. So a bucket and sponge is kind of the worst way to look after your car. If you pick up any grit on the surface of your sponge, you're going to rub that across the paint. Your paint is not super hard, so it's kind of soft, and there are hard paints and soft paints. But some of that grit being dragged across the paint will then add a little kind of scratch in your paint. So your paint levels up here, and you've got your scratch in the paint, or your light swirl mark. What polishes do at their base level is to actually remove the paint around that scratched or swirled area. So essentially, if you've got a swirl mark like this, imagine I've taken a cross section of a bonnet and I've blown it up with a microscope and we're right there, here's the panel. And then in the top of the paint, you've got this groove in your paint. What a polish does is it comes along and the abrasives essentially wear this down, all the surrounding paint, and make it flat, essentially bringing the level of the paint, the top level, down to the lowest point of that scratch. Therefore, the scratch is gone, but you're also removing some of that paint or that clear coat, that lacquer that's on your paint. So that's what polish does, and obviously, like I said, depending on the aggression, it can go through it very quickly or it can go through it very slowly. You should always go with the minimum aggression that you need first. Always start with the easiest, the weakest aggression, and then work your way up if it doesn't work. Either by changing the polish that you're using to something which is more aggressive, or perhaps changing what you're using to polish it with. If it's a hand pad, maybe you've just got to go with it more pressure or faster or something like that. Maybe you've got a machine polisher and you need to change your pad from something which is soft to something which is a bit harder to basically engage those abrasives and get them working on the paint. So that is how polish works. The abrasives in it, they come from powders. There's lots and lots of different types. Every manufacturer has their own formulation of them, but they are abrasive powders. Now there's different types of abrasive powders. You get diminishing, you get non-diminishing. Diminishing is exactly as it sounds. Basically, it starts as a large abrasive and it works its way down as you're working it. So you'll start off with a larger abrasive particle doing all of the cutting work, but as you continue to work it, it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. And as it breaks up and becomes smaller, the cut goes down, but then it's able to refine and finish out that paint, meaning that it's doing a cutting and a polishing, refining action from one product. You've got non-diminishing abrasives, which stay the same size no matter what. So if you've got a heavy cut compound, it will always be a heavy cut. It will never change as you work it. If you've got a refining polish and it's non-diminishing, it will always be a refining polish. It will never ever change. It will never get any finer. Then you've got all-in-one polishes, which are very, very fine abrasives mixed with fillers and some sort of protection. So I've got the Auto Finesse Triple here. I've got Auto Glim Super Resin Polish. Those are all-in-ones. The abrasives in these are very, very, very fine. Really only designed to take care of the lightest of damage on your paint. But they've got fillers, which means that with those scratches and swirls, the fillers go in to that scratch and raise the base level to the top layer of the paint. So you're not taking much paint away, you're actually filling it up. They're non-permanent, which means they need to be protected, which is why most of these all-in-ones also have some sort of sealant or wax in them as well. And that helps to protect your paint, but also to stop those fillers from being washed away. When you wash your car or it rains, those fillers are not going to be removed quickly. But they are non-permanent, which means eventually they will come out, which is why, generally speaking, when you find these type of products, these all-in-ones, they may tell you to reapply 3 or 4 times a year to get the best look of your paint. And that's exactly right. Basically, they're telling you to top up those fillers. Products we're going to be using today, I'm not doing a review on them, but I just want to show the differences. So we'll start with Auto Finesse Triple. So like I said, this is an all-in-one. It is designed to just overall improve the look of your paint, make it darker, make it shinier, add some protection, mask some of the damage on that section, and provide protection. Then I'm going to be using Angel Wax Perfect Polish. This is, technically speaking, a pre-wax paint cleanser. So the idea here is that the abrasives are a little bit more aggressive than that of the Triple, but it's designed to help prepare your panel, remove anything that may be on there, making sure that it's ready for you to apply a wax or a sealant to it. This is a product you can use by hand or by machine. I've been using it for a while now and I really like it. Then there's Mcguire's DA Microfiber Correction Compound. This is D300. It is a stronger abrasive. It's a compound, so it has more cutting ability. And we're going to be using that with my machine polisher and a 50/50 microfiber polishing pad on it. We're going to try and work them all the same way where possible, where we're going to give them one pass in each direction. One pass going up and down, one pass going side to side. I'll do the same by hand and also with the machine. And we'll have a look and see what kind of difference they've made. But before that, we need to have a look at the gloss levels of this paint before we move on with the practical test. So I've just taken some measurements with my gloss meter here, just to get an idea. I've gone for rough measurements, 3 points going diagonally, top left, middle, and bottom right on each panel, and this is what I'm getting gloss-wise. Get out of that light. So Triple has anywhere from 87 to 89, Perfect Polish is 89 to 90, D300 section is 88 to 91. So certainly the most glossy up in that top section there. So, without further ado, let's get on and start polishing. So Triple first here, giving it a really good shake. Then put some on the microfiber, and I'm going to spread it across the panel to make sure there's an even coverage. And I'm working in small overlapping circles. First in one direction, and then the other, to hopefully engage the abrasives and spread the fillers and wax. The same situation here for Perfect Polish. But like I said, this one doesn't contain any fillers or waxes. This is just abrasives. It's a really good product. It's really nice and easy to use. It's a bit thinner than Triple. The same situation, small overlapping circles, horizontally and vertically. Then you flick the open bottle around for your next product. Stupid me. Then you forget to switch on the machine polisher at the wall. It's going so well. It's just going so well. But here we go. Working in overlapping sections, 50% overlap in one direction and then the other to give a good coverage and work that product into the paint. Alright, so let's remove these. As you can see, this lovely Jackson Pollock effect that I've gone for here. Oh, I don't believe that happened. So we'll just wipe that off first. I want to lift that off the paint before I start buffing this off. And we'll just buff. And you know, already, I mean, I just recently washed this panel and it was so draggy. I mean, it's really, really super draggy. You could tell there was just nothing on this paint at all. Let me just wipe off these here as well. Just get rid of those. I'm not actually polishing that. All right, I've got a different microfiber for each section. So this is the perfect polish. These two have both come off very, very easily, very cleanly, which is nice. Again, this feels not as draggy, but again, it's, you know, it's had an abrasive on it to smooth it out. And then the last one for the D300, kicking stuff around. That one doesn't come off quite as nicely, to be perfectly honest. However, it's not a review of the products. It's just a little bit more grabby to remove, but it seems to come off okay. Now, let's have a look, first of all, at what they actually look like compared to each other by taking the tape off, and then I'll take you in for a close look and we can have a look and see what the improvements, if any, are. Okay, now I use a completely different, very soft towel here just to buff over and pick up anything that was left behind from the tape lines. So basically we don't have anything interfering with what we see. All right, that's good. Okay, let me take you in for a closer look. First up, this is the original panel, the untouched section. You can see all the swirls. Now let's come down across the tape line. I'm gonna keep my head out of the way of that hat there. There you go. Oh, it's the microphone. You can see the line there. There's a difference. Look at that. I know there's a... Oh, I can't get that. I have to come further back. I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of room in here to move around, and that light is directly above. Right, let's zoom. Here we go. There's your line right there. You can see this unpolished section. So what we've got there is a darkening effect. The polish has improved the look of that. There's still swirls there, but they don't look as pronounced. God, I'm right under that light, am I? I'm right under that light. Oh, I just can't, I can't find an angle to show you guys any better. It's going to be this one. So very pronounced, not quite as pronounced. You can definitely see it there with that comet tail, which is what it looks like. You see that there? It appears there and it disappears there. So it's certainly improved the look of the paint. Let's come across to the perfect polish. You can see here, there's the tape line, so it shows you the difference. So there's a difference on both sides. Let's have a look here. Oh, look at that now. Still see the swirls and so on there. They're there as well, but not as much, because there is a stronger abrasive in the perfect polish than there is in the Auto Finesse Triple. So you can see there, it looks better again, and it doesn't have anything in it. This has fillers and wax in it. This doesn't have anything. So adding something to that, a good wax maybe, might help to remove those again, because wax has a filling effect. So that might help to remove that even more, or to hide it, to mask it a little bit. Or if you put a glaze on top of there, it would look great. Let's move up to the D300. There's the tape line again. And look at that. So that was, look at that, what a difference. So this is by hand, and this is a different product by machine. What a fantastic difference. There are still swirls and scratches in this, and some holograms. It does need another going over, but I only gave it, well, basically a single pass. So one going across and one going up and down. That was it. I didn't want to go any more than that. But looking at how that is now, looking at the difference and how nice that is, let's look at this. This is what it used to look like there, that section. And now it looks like this. That difference there, just with that one pass of the machine polisher, has made a huge, huge difference to the paint. So if I gave that another couple of passes, I reckon I could get that back really looking nice. So I need to have a look at the gloss meter readings now. All right, so the gloss readings before, what did we say? For this section, 87 to 89. All right, let's pop this here. It was roughly there. Switch it on, give it a go. 96.3 there. Then it was roughly down here. 93. And down here, it's really bad. Whatever's there, it's getting in the way. Oh, mind you, this is not perfectly flat. Can I keep it still? Yeah, it's not able to get a good reading there. Something is affecting the reading there. Get there. Oh, there you go, 92. That's better because I'm holding it flatter. So, a big jump up there in numbers from the higher 80s to the low 90s, and that's just an all-in-one polish by hand. Now we've got the perfect polish by hand. Let's have a look here. 95. What did we have before? 89 to 90. So we've got 95 in the top corner. Around the center, 93. Towards the bottom right. Hold it as flat as you can. 93. So another big jump up in gloss from the very high 80s into 90, and we're going up into the mid 90s. That's great. Now let's have a look here. This is the D300. 92.2. We had 88 to 91. So 92 there. We've seen an increase there. Around the middle. 92 towards the lower right. 92, fairly even across the board, about 92. So we've bumped up the gloss a bit from the D300, but it could do with being a bit better, but that's not bad. We've seen more of a jump from the perfect polish and the triple, but you can definitely see there has been an increase in the gloss level. That's something that can be measured. We can also see it thanks to the tape lines. We can have a look and we can see the difference there. So you've still got a bunch of swirls there, and they are reduced here, and they are reduced even more here. It really is quite fantastic to see the differences there. All right, so that was a lot of fun. Honestly, I really enjoyed doing that. I love the whole scientific aspect of the testing here, you know, trying out different products, using the gloss meter to help me get an idea of the change there, using the light to make sure that you've seen an improvement. And I mean, I can still see the improvement right here, right from the corner, which doesn't have anything, it hasn't had any work done to it at all, onto the triple side, and then here over with the perfect polish, and then over to the D300. It's been so much fun, really interesting to see the differences. So what I would say is, if you are just looking for a general touch-up to your paint, you don't really care about the scratches and swirls, and you're just looking for a little bit of an improvement to the look of your paint, all-in-one polishes will do the job just fine. Now, going to something which is a bit stronger certainly improves again over the all-in-one. I mean, I can see it just from here. I can see the difference that the all-in-one section is still a bit swirly, and here with this pre-wax cleanser, like I said, they are different. They come with different grades of aggression, different levels of aggression. This one is stronger abrasive than the all-in-one, so it has made a difference there. There is a slightly clearer looking panel. The gloss is better, the reflection is better, and if I had gone over that a bit more, a bit harder with the hand application, a few more passes, I may have got even better results, I dare say. So it's really interesting how it can change depending on your methodology. If you go for machine polishing, and you don't flick it everywhere like I did, then you can really get some better defect removal if that's what you're looking for. This D300 with my 50/50 microfiber pad, it's a Eurofiber pad, brilliant combination, these two working together, and I did the same number of passes across all of these, and I saw an improvement with that. What I've done actually off camera is I've actually gone over it again. I've given it, and I've loaded up the pad with more of this polish, and I've gone over it more, a few more times, a few more passes in each direction, and I swear I'm about 99% at that panel. I'm really happy with what's happened there. It just looks almost like new paint. There are a couple of scratches in there which need perhaps something a bit stronger to work on just to get rid of those. But honestly, overall, the difference is absolutely incredible. So if it's something you're interested in, if you really want to improve the look of your paint properly, and it's more of a permanent process because you are removing some of that paint and getting rid of those defects for good, you're not masking them at all, then trying out a machine polisher is a very interesting option for you. Machine polishing is not expensive. My machine cost £50. It's not an expensive piece of kit. You can get pads which aren't too expensive, and you can get these products which aren't too expensive. If you want to try something like this, make sure ideally you get yourself a scrap car, a scrap panel, something like that. Get some practice with it, and I've certainly been practicing, and I'm seeing some fantastic results. So it's very, very interesting. I hope this answers what a polish is, what it does. It gives you an idea of what you can expect to see from polishing your car. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and smash that like button. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and while you're there, make sure you ring the notification bell so you don't miss my next video uploads. In the meantime, I've been Specky. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.